Pashas Ki-Sisa Shishi. Pasuk Yud, Vayemer, and he said, Hini anechi kedis bris, behold, I will form a bris with you, a covenant. Nega kalamcha es in the place, in the presence of all your people, I will make a distinction. Asher lenivro b'cholars b'chol goyim, that has not been created upon all the earth and upon all the nations. And all the people in whose midst you shall see the work of Hashem. How awe-inspiring it is, and that which I will perform with you. Considering this, es in the place, is an expression of neflino. That we shall be distinguished from all the nations. The Shekhinah will not rest upon them. Keep carefully what I am commanding you today. I'm going to drive out these nations. These are 6 nations. Why? Because the Girgashi left on their own. You will form a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. If you are coming, lest you become a snare in your midst. You shall demolish their altars. You shall shatter their monuments. Shade of Tichareson, and cut down their sacred trees. This is a tree they worship. For you shall not prostrate yourself before another God. Hashem Kani Shmei, as Hashem's name is a jealous one. Elkanihu, a jealous God. Rashi Kane Shmei Mekane Liporev and Mevater. He is zealous with retribution, and he does not Mevater. Rizal Kol Lashon Kina. This is an expression of jealousy. It means he is steadfast in his superiority and exacts retribution upon those who forsake him. As well, lest you form a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. And the goyim go astray after their gods. And they invite you and you eat of their slaughterings. Rashi says, you could think that there's no punishment for eating. I consider this to you as you worshipping. Through this, you will take your daughters for your sons. You take your daughters for your sons, and the daughters will go astray after their gods. And lead your sons astray after their gods. You shall not make molten gods for yourself. You shall the festives of matzahs you should keep. Matzahs you should eat matzahs for 7 days. Which I command you at the appointed meeting time of the month. From the month of the spring you went out of Egypt. The month of early ripening. When the grain first ripens. All that opens the womb is mine. And all your livestock that bears a male to peter by the merge of the ox of the lamb. All of your livestock that bears their firstborn male by the merges of the ox or the lamb, meaning that the male will open its womb. This is an expression of opening. And the beginning of strife is letting out water. Tough. And a firstborn donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you do not redeem, you shall decapitate the donkey. Every firstborn of your sons you shall redeem. And you shall not appear before Hashem empty-handed. Rashi says, and not any other unclean animals. What you do is, you give a lamb to the kohen, and it becomes chulin. And the firstborn donkey may be put on the work by its owners. He decapitates with a cleaver. He caused the kohen to lose his money by neglecting to give him the redemption lamb. Therefore he loses his money. His redemption is 5 slaim, and his redemption shall be performed from the age of 1 month. According to the simple explanation, this is a separate matter. It has nothing to do with the Becher. There's no mitzvah obligation of coming to the Beis Hamikdash. Has nothing to do with with the mitzvah of Bechir, El Azara Acheresi. It's another Azara. When you come to the base of English, you should not come empty-handed. Mitzvah Aleichem Lavi Eilish Riyas Panim, you have to bring a Eilah before Hashem. So Medrash Price and Mikra Yasru, according to the Medrash, there's an extra pasuk. Umufun Lagzir Shav Lam Al Anakas Shel Avet Ivri Shel Chavish Shlam Mikol Min V'Min. He paid in Mibchein himself this solution. From here, the Gemara learns out from Lagzir Shava that provisions are given to Avet Ivri. That is 5 slayim from each kind, sheep, grain, and wine, as much as the redemption of her firstborn. 6 days you shall work, and the 7th day you shall rest. In plowing and harvest you shall rest. Like Rashi, why are plowing and harvest mentioning? Some rabbis learn that the pasuk prohibits plowing before the 7th. This is here it enters the 7th year. In other words, the Lam B'Chashem Meisif Mechala Kedesh B'Chem Mashma Sheish Es Yamim Taved V'Yem Shvi Tishbeis V'Avedis Yem V'Avyem Shitat L'Chol Yishara Shecharish V'Kat Aser V'Etzrak Lemer Charish V'Kat Shvi Shari Kwar Never Sot Kol Yisrael. This is to teach us that you have to add unholy, in other words, the year, the preceding of the 7th year, to the holy of the 7th year. According to this meaning, 6 days you shall work, on the 7th day you shall rest, and concerning the work of the 6 days, which I have permitted you, there is a year in which the plowing and the harvest are Aser. The plowing and harvest of the 7th year, you need not be stated, because as it says already, your fields you shall not sow. Some say that the pasuk is speaking only about the weekly Shabbos. Why does it say these things? Just like this, it's optional. This is also optional. You have to exclude the harvest of the Eimer, which is mandatory and will supersede the Shabbos. And you shall make yourself a festival of weeks, the first of the feast, the wheat of the harvest, the festival of the ingathering at the turn of the year. Of which you bring 2 breads made of the wheat, for the meal offering brought to the Beis Hamikdash for the new wheat crop. Because the meal offering of the Eimer or the Pesach is brought from the barley. Which occurs at the time you gather your grain in the field of the house. The gathering is in term of denoting bringing into the house. Shall take it into your house. Which is the return of the year, which is the first month of the year. A term denoting going around and encompassing. 3 times during the year, all the males should appear before Hashem, before the Master Hashem, God of Israel. All the males amongst you. This is repeated elsewhere, as many of the commentaries in the Torah, which are stated and repeated, many of them 3 or 4 times. Why? To tell us that each time you're going to be over another negative or a positive commandment. I will drive on nations before you. And I will widen your borders. And no one will covet your land. When you go up, to appear before Hashem, 3 times a year. And it says, I will drive out. And so to begin to drive out. The expression of driving out. And widen your border. And this way you will be far from the temple. And you cannot constantly appear before me. Therefore I am setting these pilgrimages festivals to you. Should not slaughter or sprinkle the blood of my sacrifice, and it should not remain overnight. So you should not slaughter or sprinkle the blood of my sacrifice with chametz, and the offering of the Pesach feast shall not remain overnight until the morning. You're not allowed to cover Pesach while chametz is still in your possession. This is a specific warning to the slaughterer, to the one who sprinkles the blood, or to the one of the members of the group. As the Targum says, remaining overnight at the top of the altar has no effect, and the Isser of staying overnight is not completed at the break of dawn. Sacrificial price. This teaches us about hektar chalam mevarim. Last pasuk of the choice of the land of your soil. we shall bring to the house of the Hashem, should not cook a kid in its mother's milk. So Rashi, this refers to the 7 species delineated in the praise of Hashem. Dvash is dates. This is a warning against cooking meat and milk together. The commandment is written 3 times. One for eating, one for deriving benefit, and one for prohibited of cooking. Any young offspring is meant. Even a calf or a lamb. When the young goat is meant, you learn Gdi, unqualified means all sucklings. This excludes chicken, which has no milk, meat, and the Isser is only Midivrei Seifun.